Good afternoon. I'm Impact Weather Meteorologist Chris Abear with an update on Tropical Disturbance 35 in the north central Gulf of Mexico. We can see a center, looks like starting to form right in this yellow circle here around 26.8 north and about 91 degrees west. A reconnaissance plane is out there now. It's found a little bit of westerly wind flow across this area here, but not enough to really close off a tight center just yet. I think that's coming, though. It's probably going to be only a matter of about another 6 to 12 hours before we have a tropical storm out here, because the plane also found tropical storm force winds throughout these areas. This area of squalls over here to the east of the center. These winds are about 30 to 35 miles per hour, blowing right up to southeast Louisiana. In some cases, they found some 40 to 45 mile per hour winds out here. And this is going to result in tides a couple of feet above normal today, but probably as much as 3 to 5 feet above normal from central Louisiana over toward the Mississippi coast by tomorrow afternoon and during the day on Saturday and Sunday as we have the storm winding up here off the mid-Louisiana coast. Now take a look at the latest model guidance, and there has been somewhat of a shift since this morning. They're all in good agreement in taking the storm or developing storm off toward the central to southwest Louisiana coast tomorrow and then stalling it for 2 to 3 days. They did the same thing this morning, but after that point this morning, they tended to drive it more west and southwestward toward Texas. There's been a big shift during the day today, and instead of driving it toward Texas, now the general agreement is that this area here is going to be threatened here, possibly by hurricane conditions over the weekend, but it may begin to track on off to the northeast by about late Monday or Tuesday and move inland rather than tracking southwestward toward Texas. That still means that this whole area here in yellow is at least a risk of a hurricane impact over the coming weekend. We think the most likely area is the mid-Louisiana coast right now, but we can't rule out it drifting toward the Louisiana coast, then offshore to the southwest a bit, and then back over toward the Louisiana coast. It might actually be making a loop out here in the Gulf of Mexico over the weekend. And this is where we think the likely impact area is going to be, from offshore all throughout the northwest Gulf of Mexico to perhaps the upper Texas coast all the way to the New Orleans area. This is the most likely area that we could see some tropical storm to hurricane conditions over the coming weekend. Now, not only is it going to produce some gusty winds and rough seas and high tides along the coast, it'll also produce some very heavy rainfall. Heaviest rainfall probably over southeastern and south central Louisiana, 10 to 15 inches or more, all the way from west of Lafayette through just south or into Baton Rouge, probably New Orleans area, and over toward the Mississippi coast, also some heavy rain over there. Bad news for you folks over in southeast Texas looking for a little bit of rainfall. I don't think that we're going to get too much rainfall if the storm stays near the Louisiana coast and eventually moves northward or northeastward. So that's a little bit bad news, but the rest of the areas are going to see some copious amounts of rainfall, probably more rain than they would like to see from a tropical system across South Louisiana. That's a look at Tropical Disturbance 35 for this afternoon. I'm Impact Weather Meteorologist Chris Abear. We'll have another video for you later on this evening.